As a young boy, fresh from sea school, I was lucky enough to win a sail training apprenticeship on one of the last of the great square riggers, the four-masted bark Pamir. We sailed, on my 16th birthday, from here, West India Dock, which was then right in the heart of the largest port in the world, the London Docks. 10 years later, Pamir was lost in a typhoon in the South Atlantic. By then, I had given up the sea for journalism, and the London docks, as I once knew them, had started to decline and die. They turned into an area of lost greatness, until 11 years ago, Docklands suddenly became a place of huge dreams. Look at it now. Since I spoke those words 4 years ago, the phoenix has truly risen from the ashes. A shining new city built like Venice, on and around water. A place for people to work, a place for people to live. But also like Venice, it's a brilliant and astonishing combination of business, of art, of leisure, of people who visit, of people who commute, and people who are privileged enough to live here. What I said 4 years ago was then. This is now. But there's a huge tomorrow for all this, booming and expanding as we go into the 21st century, certain once again to be the envy and focus of the whole world. At their height, the London docks handled over 60 million tons of cargo per year. The ships that built an empire went from here, and the traders of the world came back. Ships from every nation brought prosperity to the waters of the Thames until methods and economics changed and the business moved away. Suddenly, around 1980, Londoners realised nearly 1/10 of their city was empty and derelict. Rebuilding London's Docklands was the biggest urban redevelopment project the world had ever seen. Vast tracts of city and waterfront were prepared for a working and residential population which has already grown from 40,000 residents to 77,000. An extra working population, already 70,000 a day, makes it all add up to a city the size of Oxford. Eventually, there will be jobs for another 100,000 people in 70 million square feet of commercial and retail space. The real agenda was for London to become the leading trading city of Europe. The task, vital to the whole of Britain's prosperity as well as London's, was given to the specially created London Docklands Development Corporation, who were granted unique powers for planning and investment in billions. Sonny Crouch is Director of Marketing.
What we had to do was to first clear the land, clean the land because some of it was contaminated, put in infrastructure, not just of roads and railways and the airport, but also gas, electricity, water, carbon fibres so that all the electronic communications work, and then on that basis to attract developers to put their money into building the buildings and the things that we see around us.
The first key ingredient was business. Without business, there was no pull-through of all the other elements. And business was led by the fact that London had become overcrowded and they were looking for space. The business responded by building outstanding architectural buildings. And therefore, what has followed is a quality offering to the business world. Based on that, the residential development of the area flowed from the success of the business scale, and then finally came the retail and the catering, which was the last to enter because you must have critical mass to achieve that. And we now have an exciting offering in restaurants. We have every major supermarket chain down here bar one, and there's a sporting offering which is certainly in water sports terms unequalled in London. Remembering that Canary Wharf is as close to the Bank of England as is Oxford Circus, frequently not understood.
Well, where we're standing is in Wapping on the north side of the River Thames, and about a mile down the river from here is Tower Bridge, and I think of the Tower of London as our little gatehouse because north of the river, that's where the area begins. It's in 4 areas. North of the river, nearest to Tower Bridge, Wapping. This area has been mainly turned into an area for urban residential living. South of the river, behind us, is also mainly residential, but very different in characteristic. And it's houses and gardens and a very good shopping centre and some new schools and a new sixth form college. Further to the east, so right behind me now, where you can see our great icon, the Canary Wharf Tower, that's on the Isle of Dogs. And in that area, the middle of it has become our central business district. Then the most easterly area we call the Royal Docks, because the great docks in there are the Royal Victoria, the Royal Albert and their little son King George V dock. I think what gives us a great deal of satisfaction, myself and all my colleagues in the London Docklands Development Corporation, is the sense of having been given the remit of 8.5 square miles of London, very close to the centre, that was derelict, going nowhere, with no future, and leaving it as a place that has improved considerably, particularly physically, and which now has a future and has hope.
To start it, they needed businesses to move in. Many faced fierce opposition from their staffs and even ridicule from other firms. One of the first was West Ferry Printers, printing for the Daily Telegraph.
If you ask any of our staff nowadays where would they prefer to work, they will always say they would prefer to work on the Isle of Dogs. It's a lovely environment, and it's so much space, it's cleaner, the air is much cleaner, it's much nicer.
It has to be said that when the decision was announced to move, we were laughed at and criticised. Our response to that is to say that before we came down here, we were the 6th largest agency in the UK, and as I sit here today, we're the 2nd largest agency in the UK. So I think it's worked, and I think most of them have shut up now.
Access to London's docklands is no longer difficult. Originally, the docks were almost deliberately cut off to prevent pilfering and smuggling. Now the tunnel for the Jubilee line is complete and the project on target for opening in March 1998. New road and rail links have been installed or are in development, while the city airport has never been busier. Now there are 18 European destinations and 640,000 passengers a year arriving and departing. Today, visitors are certainly wanted in Docklands, where there's things to do, places to see and be seen.
Jeff Learney, hello, 95.8 FM, 7 minutes to 10 o'clock.
But this is not only a new community of trade and razzmatazz, Docklands also attracts the bizarre. In Docklands, work and leisure, art and industry, sport, ecology and the simple things in life merge into one. One reason why Robert Richardson gave up a promising career in London's West End music scene to set up The Space in a refurbished church.
Well, there are two things. The first one is that we want to be a community centre and a meeting place for the entire population of the Isle of Dogs. And secondly, we want to provide art and entertainment of a very high quality, but we see those as being together and working together. We'll be doing that with a programme of jazz and film, comedy, theatre, and we think that's important to attract the entire population.
The greater the variety, the greater the attraction. The voluntary Docklands singers come from all walks of local life, all dedicated to using the arts to raise money for charity. Where once ships' horns called the tune, now life has changed. Life has also changed and improved for many in Docklands. New opportunities for learning are proving very popular among the locals.
There's 3 different types of courses here at the moment. There's a level 1, which is a 6-week course, which are for people that have never ever been in the trade before. And there's a level 2 for people that are actually in the industry, and they come to us 1 day a week. And there's also the advanced level for people that have changed careers. We've got accountants, we've got journalists, we've got fashion designers, all sorts, all walks of life.
Is everything all right, ladies?
Yes, delicious, thank you.
Here in Beckton, the country comes into the city and brings opportunity, but it's no free ride.
They have to earn the right to work with the horses. It's not offered to everybody that comes into the yard. They have to show an interest and a commitment to what goes on. And I feel that these local kids are entitled to have the opportunity to ride in something like this. There's many, many centres across the country that don't have an arena like this for their clients to ride in.
And a little tickle if you have to. That's good.
We don't have the forests and we don't have the bridle paths, but we have the arena.
Not far away is Mudshoot Farm, another Docklands opportunity for local children to experience nature. While yet another asset is vast open spaces of water. There are 23 water sports centres in Docklands, entire docks turned over to different forms of propulsion. The river, water and open spaces combine with new opportunities, new homes for new lives. The Royal Docks will soon be one of London's principal assets, complete with an exhibition centre, a university, a business park and an urban village. What effect do you think all this whole improvement to Docklands, is going to have on the rest of the capital?
Our place in London is enhancing London's position as an international city. Every city must grow, must develop, must have new opportunities and new space. And actually London's extremely fortunate that it's got this 8.5 square miles of land that can be developed to modern year 2000 standards within 3 miles of the NatWest Tower at the heart of the city.
I get a daily excitement out of it. Most people who work and have seen the development down here get a real thrill out of what they see. The relationship of the water to the buildings, to the architecture. We've had 75 architectural awards and design awards for the area. A remarkable achievement in one area, newly created concept. One gets another buzz of excitement. The current one is new pedestrian bridges we're putting in across the waterway to combine the areas. And in a way, it's just a series of stages that you can visually touch and feel. And that is really, in life, one of the most exciting things you can be part of.
The task set to the LDDC is nearly complete as we move towards the new millennium and a new era. Now, London's Phoenix City feels more secure than ever, integrated into the capital with its own character, personality and style. The city of tomorrow has found its rightful place.
The critical factor for success will be how this area feels for people. It has to be an area where you want to work because you enjoy working there, where you want to live because you enjoy living there, where you want to visit because it's a good, fun, interesting visit. It is already all of those things, and I can see that only getting better.